I saw Halloween movies again. Starting off with... This isn't a Halloween movie! This movie's really funny. And real horny. Super Beasto is literally just a horny meme from old cartoons. On steroids. Not to mention everything else is... horny. But back to it being funny. Yes. The movie's just all around fun. This movie is pretty good. Like, everyone is human, which just makes the premise a lot funnier. It's a world in which all slasher killers are real, and a film crew decides to watch a rising slasher killer. And of course, with a premise like that, it's gonna deconstruct the genre, and at least there's some pretty funny moments. Like how the survivor girl dies when it turns out she's not a virgin. Did I put a spoiler warning? It's a full-time gig. Just another really fun movie. Now with a cohesive plot. Wow! It also has some cool action. Not to mention, the premise is pretty cool. It's kind of like Belko, but not really. This movie also feels like a video game, and boy is that a big plus. Not to mention the way they describe the bosses. Pretty hilarious. However, there is one thing I don't like, which is Derek's friend, whose name I forgot. There's nothing to him, and he just dies after like 3 scenes. And yet they want me to feel bad for him. Like what people wanna see. It's pretty good. It has some fire effects and pretty good acting. Like Reagan is a pretty good example of both of those taking place. I just really like her janky movements. Not to mention, I did kind of throw up a bit in my mouth after seeing some of her throw-up dribble. That shit was nasty. I also like how human this movie is. It just follows normal human problems, like loss of faith or a mother wanting to help her child. And then they just add a sprinkle of demon, and boom. Kino. And that detective, man, was a true Kino sewer. Just like myself. I do have some problems with it, like how the beginning is kind of slow, which is fine. But we follow a priest for like 10 minutes, and like, I don't give a fuck. And then he just comes back for the climax and somehow dies. Once a year I'm not, I dress up and dream. God damn, it just makes you feel uncomfortable. Like really uncomfortable. And it's entirely in POV, which makes it worse. And the gore, it's like all scalping, and then there's part with the Achilles tendon, and motherfucker. It just really fucked me up. The acting's also commendable. Frodo does a really good job. Like, he's somehow creepy, insane, awkward, and endearing all at the same time. And the other characters are pretty good too. I feel really bad for Anna. Also, that main theme is a banger. And on a final note, this movie's kind of memeable. Yeah, it's good. Was I scared? No. Was I invested? Yeah. I thought that ending part with the psychiatrist was bad though. Like, I can infer this stuff on my own. But at least they fully state that Norman isn't trans. So, shut the fuck up about that. And the twist was really well handled. And it worked. Even if I knew what the twist was. Sweet Jesus. Absolute Kino. I genuinely think there's nothing wrong with this movie. Even the beginning, which is kind of slow, has enough nice character moments that keeps me engaged. And John Doe, he's just the perfect villain. And this movie has so many twists and turns, like when they thought they caught the killer, but then like that wasn't him, and like, oh man, they built up to it so well. And I knew that was gonna happen, cause you know, I am smart myself. I was a pretty good Among Us player, what? I wanna be unsexy. It sure is a slasher. Art's goofy. He's having fun, obviously. And he's 100% silent. I think that's pretty cool. That's all about the good things in this movie. Wait, never mind. There's this one scene with a bunch of rats. I like that scene. Rats are adorable. It's surprisingly good. Like, it's a horror movie with characters that I actually like. For the most part. But they die, so it's okay. But my favorite's gotta be Mara and the absolute Chad at Dale. It also has some pretty cool kills, like the opening one. Speaking of kills, the second kill of the movie is really great. It really makes things so tense because it lets the audience know no one is safe. But yeah, it does have some flaws. The acting can be weird at some points, and it has some good old CGI blood, which is made even worse with that $15 straight-to-DVD budget. It's okay. It's pretty good. I like the music. It's pretty 2000s. I also like Needy's and Chip's relationship. They have a very wholesome sex scene. And of course there's So I saw the second one like 2 years ago. I pretty much have the same opinion about it. This movie's also very charming and funny, but it has a cohesive plot. So first of all, yeah, there's so much meme potential with this, but there actually is a good movie here. Like, just seeing Patrick Bateman do these heinous things all out of the blue, it's so tenseful. That's not a word. And sometimes he doesn't even kill the people, it just adds so much suspense. And all around, Patrick Bateman is just an entertaining character to watch. And I just love the fact that he knows what he's doing is bad, and he even tries to turn himself in, but because of his status, or at least that's my interpretation, he gets away with it. Yeah, it's good. It's a really nice, well-made, funny movie. The premise alone leads to funny moments, such as the Vince Vaughn makeout scene. But there's also nice character moments that make me feel feels. There's also good acting and pretty good visual effects. Not to mention the deaths are pretty cool. It's pretty good. And if I were a kid watching this, I would probably shit my pants. Like, what the fuck is this? There's also some cool looking characters, especially TikTok and Jack. But the plot is a bit contrived. Like, Belina has no reason to be in Oz except for the fact that the plot needs her to be. But at least the Gnome King being afraid of chickens was built up better than water killing the Wicked Witch. Like, that kind of comes out of nowhere. A lot of things can kill witches. Like white people. I also hate the Gump. But it do be quite relatable. Like, that is so me when I forget to take my medication. Shit's just really funny. That's it. It fails in comparison in so many ways. The original is just a masterpiece. It has some cool stuff though. Well, that's the list. And I think I should mention that I'm a Zoomer. So, of course, I love Five Nights at Freddy's. The Markiplier Five Nights at Freddy's playlist. Is there anything else to say other than it's a masterpiece? As a little baby Zoomer, I was too afraid to play Five Nights at Freddy's. But luckily for me and everyone else, there was a king to help us. The king of Five Nights at Freddy's. I can't do it. But yeah, looking back on it, I still like Five Nights at Freddy's. I like the premise a lot, and I still find some jump scares to be scary. Like Freddy's second jump scare in FNAF 1. That makes me shit my pants. And Toy Chica, but that's probably because of PTSD. And also I'd fuck that animatronic. You didn't hear that. But also watching Markiplier play, I realized how fear is built through like all the games, and it's really cool. Especially FNAF 4, which just ear rapes you. That's hilarious. I also gotta give props to the kings in the comment section who gave us the jump scare list. Much appreciated. Anyways, this is the final list.